Ready?
Yes.
Okay. Hallo und herzlich willkommen bei Hollywood Tramp und ich sitze hier heute wieder mit einem ganz großen Gast, the one and only, famous, beautiful, the voice, what else can I say, talented, Adam Lambert.
Jet-lagged,
but
happy to be here.
Yeah, tell people where you coming from.
I came from Los Angeles the night before last.
Last night,
yeah.
And you told me that you didn't sleep really, so...
No, but it'll make for a much more fun interview.
Yeah.
No
Okay,
filter.
Cool. So, actually my plan was to ask you new hair, new music style, but your hair is short again. What happened to the long hair?
Do you know, it was just extensions.
Really?
I just did it for the video, I wanted something more like 70s fashion forward, a lot of the runway stuff that I've been looking at, like from like Gucci, and I realized that they're doing like really weird hair, and I just wanted some weird hair for my first single kickoff.
Yeah.
And I loved it, but then it was a lot of work.
Yeah, okay.
And I was like, I'm going to be traveling and in a hotel. I'm like, let's make this easy.
So, but the sound is completely new. I mean, your new single is the best proof that something had changed. And people say when you change your style that dramatically, something happened in the past. So what happened between the last record and this one?
I just wanted to do something different, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, I'm such a creature of novelty. And as an artist, I really like exploring like new territory. And I've gone into, obviously with the rest of the album, there's a lot of different varying sounds on the album, and some of those sounds I've kind of brushed by before in the past, but I think I'm diving in more head first on this one. I kind of wanted to focus on music that felt more timeless to me, so it wouldn't feel out of date in a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I told you that yesterday, it sounds like nothing else right now on the radio. So was there a time when you produced the album where you thought like, oh, maybe this is too risky, maybe I should do something popular like EDM or what everyone is doing?
I feel like I've done it.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that I'll never do it again, but I just, I was trying to like follow my instincts in terms of like what I wanted to do creatively, what inspired me, the type of music that made me feel some kind of way. And, I wasn't really thinking about so much about me. Oh, I have to be commercial. I have to fit into a box. I have to like do what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
As a creative person, being in the industry for 10 years, that's just no fun to follow.
Yeah,
I was like, I want to do my own thing this time.
Yeah, but I think that almost often record labels, they feel like, oh, okay, you should do something that everyone else is doing. Like this record is now popular, do the same. Do you have to convince people to put out this record, or are you completely free?
No, I mean that's a really good point. I think I asked right out the gate, like I want to do something different. Who wants to work with me? And so I signed a new deal with a new indie label and. I have a new management team, and it was just time to kind of like try something new, something fresh. And I was listening to a lot more alternative music over the past couple of years than I was top 40.
Yeah.
So like bands, people like Tame Impala or the Black Keys,
cool.
or these groups that are a little bit more like earthy.
Yeah.
With their sound, a funky kind of soulful indie kind of vibe, and I was very inspired by those sounds.
Yeah. Yeah, I love those bands.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And when I look at some of my favorite bands whose music I absolutely love, some of those people aren't being played on the radio, and that doesn't make me like them any less.
Yeah, that's true.
Music should be music. I mean, if you like it, you like it.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing is the commercial part, and the other thing is like the artistic part, right? So,
yeah, it's a balancing act.
Yeah.
It's definitely a balancing act. And the business, if you're too focused on the business, it can kind of pull you away from the creative too far. So it's finding the balance, I think, is necessary.
So yesterday we listened to a couple of songs.
Yeah.
And I really love them. I'm really so excited for this record to come out. And I think that this is the closest to Queen from all the things that you have done. Is there any influence by Queen in this record, or is it?
I definitely thought for a moment, when I was sort of finding a new sound, I thought, oh, this is cool because it's a bit more classic. It's a throwback.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that being on the road with Queen over this many years has like rubbed off on me that way, and made me realize that these songs have stood the test of time for a reason. and that I wanted to make music that maybe could potentially someday do the same thing.
Yeah. Did you have the chance to show them your new
Yeah,
song?
I sent them New Eyes. They were into it. Whenever I send them anything that's produced in a modern way, even if it has a throwback sound to it, it's produced for now, in a way that's digital and all that. It takes them a second, I think, to dig in, but they both love it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this is my LGBT plus blog, and I'm so excited to ask you something really special, because a lot of homophobia is going on. I mean, even here in Germany, and people are always like, when you're like famous and you're at a certain point in your life, you don't have any homophobia happen to you. So does that happen in the music industry at all, or is it like?
I don't know. It's hard to make blanket statements about that kind of stuff, because I've definitely experienced homophobia in the industry. Even if it's indirect, I don't feel like I had any encounters being in the music world where someone was straight up like, I don't like gay people.
Yeah.
But as business people trying to sell to the masses, there's definitely been resistance and fear of risk in promoting somebody with my lifestyle to the masses. But I do think it's getting better.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 years ago when I started, it was definitely more of an uncharted territory, especially in the US. And 10 years later, I feel like there's a lot of queer artists out there right now that are proving that there is an audience for it and it can be commercial. Yeah. So that's great. But I've definitely gotten to a point where I'm not going to edit myself for anybody else's comfort. Yeah. If you're not comfortable with who I am, then fuck off. Listen to somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, this is what music is about.
Yeah, it's expression. Especially in like the age that we're living in now, identity politics are so important. People need to understand who you are and what you stand for. Yeah. And people want to see themselves in you and relate to you. And so I think being an open book is really important.
Yeah, this is great advice, I guess, for everyone. So and before we come to an end, I always have some random questions. Okay. They're very fun.